Hello. Um, I watched a video on the BBC News link Facebook timeline, and it got me thinking about something. So basically, the report was about a man who, for his profession, shoots grey squirrels, and there was a woman who done likewise. Now, both people said they were very reluctant to do it. The man said he'd rather not have a job. In the United Kingdom, unless I'm mistaken, it is legal to kill a grey squirrel. The situation here is that grey squirrels are obviously North American, and apparently they carry a disease. I forget the formal name, but they carry a disease that has significantly reduced our native European red squirrel population. So these days in the UK, it's far more common to see grey squirrels. Out in my street, actually, we quite often see them. So it's legal to kill a grey squirrel. And what they emphasized was they don't waste it. They give the tail to fishermen, and they cook the squirrel meat. It's supposed to be quite good. Um, for me, there's a world of difference between this and something like fox hunting, in which the fox is not used for meat. It's not a necessity, not in the same way, and it's also illegal. I made the previous video. I'm against fox hunting. I think it's cruel. I think it's unnecessary. Anyway, this got me thinking about something because there were some comments replying to that. A number of people were taking the view it was necessary, but there were some who were saying, "Oh, they just do it because they like doing it." Well, they obviously didn't watch the report because both people made it clear that they didn't get any sort of kick out of it. They weren't sadists, and I think that in fact the woman had all these. She was clearly a red squirrel enthusiast. She had all these like cuddly toys of red squirrels, paintings of red squirrels, etc., all over her house. Um, what I find is when it comes to animal rights zealots, what I mean by that is people who have a black and white view of everything regarding animal welfare in terms of, well, not even regarding animal welfare, in terms of situations where people kill animals, their view is black and white. It's always wrong, full stop. I don't agree with that. And I have to be honest, it does irritate me a little bit because I think that they're short sighted. I think they have a sweeping concept that every situation is the same, and it's not. So, for example, in this situation, it is specifically in order to protect the red squirrel population. Now, whether it works or not, you can debate, but at the very least, you should understand that that is the premise. It isn't about hunting for fun. Um, but it got me thinking of wider issues. Sometimes I think there's a good deal of hypocrisy in the sense that these people often pretend to be all about compassion, but when it comes to their fellow human beings, they seem to have no compassion. Now, I have to say, if you really think that, if you would put a human life second to an animal life, let's say, for example, you have a wild animal attacking someone, and let's say that person is a child or vulnerable person or anyone for that matter, and but particularly the former, and your attitude is, oh, don't kill it because it's a stupid human's fault in the first place. I understand the argument that there are times animals are just protecting themselves, but that is not always the circumstance. Some animals are territorial, and it isn't necessarily always about protecting the young. I remember seeing a case, I believe it was in Florida last year, where this family had mistakenly wandered into the wrong area in the Everglades, and the child was eaten by a crocodile. Um, I believe it was last year. I may be mistaken about that. But the animal rights zealots were like, oh, stupid humans, they got what they deserved. I mean, if that is your mentality, there's something seriously wrong with you. If you have, for example, an aggressive dog attacking a child, are you honestly telling me that you wouldn't use force to protect that child, i.e., kill the dog? If your answer is no, then there is something seriously wrong with you. So that's what I dislike about animal rights zealotry. My own position is I am against mindless cruelty for the sake of it. And I am totally in favor of the argument, for example, against performing animals in circuses, which in this country has been banned. Um, but what I have a problem with is the black and white concept that certain animal rights zealots have. They don't seem to have any concept that there is any different situations, and there clearly are. And I do think that if your attitude to, for example, someone being attacked by a wild animal is, oh well, they get what they deserve because animals will be animals. I'm sorry, but why shouldn't human beings protect our own as well? There's hypocrisy in this, and it lies in this. They say that we humans think we're better than every other species. We take over the planet. We do what we want. We think that we're better than every other species. Now, when an animal uses its instinct to protect its young, to protect its territory, they immediately say, "Oh, that's nature. That's what they do." But surely, it's also human nature to protect our young and fellow human beings. So I think it's hypocritical to criticize people for protecting people. Um, where I would sort of have the caveat is let's not have mindless cruelty. So, you get examples of low life humans who abuse animals just for fun. That is clearly wrong. And such people, in my view, should be firmly punished. So, for example, you get thugs who organize dog fighting circles. You get people who clearly abuse animals just out of sheer cruelty. Um, Such people should be treated like criminals, absolutely. But I really have a problem with those who get into, at times, extremism. They're prepared to use violence against fellow humans to make the point, and I think that it's just hypocritical. So, and I should say, by the way, I'm not vegetarian. I eat meat. I eat fish meat. I'm not a big meat eater, but I do eat meat. So that's why I couldn't be an outright. I'd be a hypocrite if I said, if I was always excuse me, to campaign at abattoirs and so on, I would be a hypocrite. So I'm not going to do that. But what I do expect, I think, for example, in terms of scientific research, there should definitely be alternatives explored to animal testing. I am uneasy about animal testing, and I can understand why people are uncomfortable with it. Um, but I just wish animal rights zealots wouldn't be so. They'd be a little bit more open minded in terms of understanding that not every situation is the same. You cannot compare, for example, let's say people, being, abusing a pet dog just because they're scumbags and they don't care about the welfare of the animal, and someone shooting, say, a bear because it is attacking their child. I mean, give me a break. If you think that there is, if I'm not a father, but if I was, and let's say, for example, my son or daughter was attacked by a dangerous dog, because some people in the UK, don't care about the Dangerous Dogs Act. I would use force to protect my child. Absolutely. If that meant killing the dog, 100% in a heartbeat, yes. If your answer is no, then are you honestly telling me that you would put the life of a human being, especially a vulnerable human being, before an animal? I'm sorry, but there's something seriously wrong with that track of thinking. Um, so let me know your thoughts. I know this is an emotive subject. I know it's something that really works people up. So my intention is not to offend anyone. It's not to, start an argument. I'm just trying to, in my opinion, there is differences. There are different situations. And when I say animal rights zealots, I'm not saying that they're all extremists per se, but by zealotry, I mean this black and white belief in something. And I think sometimes it is misguided. Certainly, I agree with them on many occasions. I hate mindless cruelty, as every decent human being should. But not every situation is the same. So let me know your thoughts, and thanks for watching.